my whole pitch of what Glorify went from a changing room in London to Kim Kardashian in LA. I mean, the most famous people in the world, from all the Kardashians to Leonardo DiCaprio to Serena Williams to Will Ferrell, James Corden. I mean, like, the list is infinite, of Michael Bublé, who's now one of my best friends, Jason Derulo. I mean, imagine me, this sort of kid, maybe 20 years old, 21, I don't know, going into this place.
Seja mais do que bem-vindo ao primeiro episódio do Na Mesa. A partir de agora, você não está mais na sua casa, no seu carro, no seu quarto. Você está sentado aqui, você é a quarta pessoa nessa mesa. E a partir de hoje, você vai ter acesso a uma série de episódios, onde nós temos um único intuito: te fazer sentar ao lado de pessoas extraordinárias em diversos aspectos. Pessoas extraordinárias no business, pessoas extraordinárias nos relacionamentos conjugais, na família, na espiritualidade, pessoas extraordinárias em networking, produtividade. E nós vamos trazer uma série de convidados para sentar com você e para que nessa conversa, como se você estivesse aqui do nosso lado, você possa absorver e aprender todas as chaves, todos os princípios, os fundamentos que ao longo desse bate-papo vão ser liberados para você. Fica atento, pega uma caneta e um papel, porque se você tem acesso a isso aqui, você é muito privilegiado. E se prepara, porque você não vai receber ouro não. Você está dentro da mina e tem uma série de ouro, de diamante, de rubi que você vai ter acesso a partir de agora.
E o convidado de hoje é nada mais, nada menos do que o fundador de uma das maiores empresas cristãs do mundo, o Glorify, que chegou a ter um valuation, ou seja, o valor dessa empresa chegou a mais de 500 milhões de dólares. Ele já teve mais de 7 empresas, ele é britânico, ele está morando no Brasil agora e ele senta na mesa comigo e com a Júlia hoje e com você. Então pega a sua cadeira e sente-se na mesa com a gente.
And I want to get like a steps backward. We, as young people, we have so many ideas.
Yeah.
You know, like how many ideas me and Luigi have, like during our life, every day Luigi have a different business idea, every single day. And I think like the people is watching us, they get so much good ideas, like so many ideas that was really good. But that this lot of ideas, they don't know how to do the first step.
Yeah.
With this many like things to do, they don't know like how I should do like the first step. What's the concrete action that I have to do it so I can be like a really good company? You have thousands and thousands and thousands of ideas, but how you like manage this and understand what is the first step and what is the first concrete like action that you have to do like to make a company with so many ideas like we have to.
Well, I love that Luigi does that, and I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And this is something I've done since I was extremely young. And I would have this little book. I remember at school, I went to a boarding school, international. And every morning I would wake up and I'd try and strengthen this creative muscle that we all have somewhere.
Yeah.
And so
that's
I'd wake up in the morning, I'd open my book, or throughout the day, and I'd write down every idea that would come to my mind. You know, and most ideas are horrible. Just like with songwriting, you know, Ed Sheeran, he'll write, 5 songs a day and then, one every week will actually be good, but that's enough. I think something a mentor told me really early on was you only have to be right one time for it to change your life.
Wow.
But then the other bit of advice I got was the idea only matters so much. Instead, it's less about the exact idea and more about the broader area where the idea sits. And you need to care about that broad area. And then the idea will keep changing, it'll keep evolving, and you'll eventually pinpoint something that does make sense to go and try. A mistake I see a lot of young people make is they come up with an idea, and then they think, oh, this is it.
They embrace the idea.
Yeah, I'll come up with the next Uber,
Yeah.
this is gonna be huge. And then you know what they do? They don't tell anyone. They keep it inside themselves, and they try and build it, and they try and do it.
Alone.
And that is the worst thing you can do, because look, again, the idea only matters so much. What you need is to think of something that you're roughly passionate about, and then, honestly, tell as many people as you can.
Get opinions?
When you start getting opinions, the idea will shift. It'll get better, and then suddenly it won't make sense, and then it will get better again. And you've eventually just got to start, Find something that means something to you and just start building something. And when you do start building something, users' opinions will affect that. And hopefully you've got some sort of North Star about, what you
Yeah.
really believe it could be. You don't want to get
Yeah.
deterred by all of the opinions around you. You've got to stay strong somewhere, but you need to begin at the end of the day, otherwise they're just ideas.
Something that I really believe in, I really like, this is like a true, really, like, it's a belief that I have, that we don't have to be passionate about our ideas. We have to be passionate about the problems that we solve.
Yeah.
I don't have to be passionate about like the Pro Academy that I created. I have to be passionate about changing young people's lives.
That's it.
When I like
The
passion,
end point. The end point is what you need to be passionate about.
so if I'm passionate about Pro Academy, if someone gets to me and say like opinion that I have to shift my business, I have to do something different that's gonna be more impactful. If I'm really in love with my idea and not the purpose of my idea, I will not be like able to shift.
Yeah.
I will not be like able to create more things, different things that they are better. Me and Luigi, before creating Pro Academy, we shift so many times. You are doing the process. We shift so many times, but the purpose didn't shift.
Yeah.
The purpose was only one: change young people's lives.
That's the North Star.
Yeah.
You can't fall in love with how you get there.
Yeah.
So something another mentor would say to me is strong opinions held lightly, right?
Yeah.
So you have strong opinions that drive an energy inside of you to start creating.
Yeah.
But when new evidence and things
yeah.
change the way you get there, you're able to shift your opinion.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're just strong-headed and you'll hit a wall and explode.
That's the pride.
And something that you told me once that is really important is that even if your idea is super awesome,
Yeah.
how important it is to do like an MVP.
Yeah.
How important it is to start something that's small, but to see if people like.
Exactly.
And even in Pro Academy, we talk a lot in the course of entrepreneurship about MVP, about product market fit. But like, tell us a little bit more how it was with these big ideas. How do you test it small to see if it was going to get big one day?
I think it all starts from talking to the people around you. And I don't mean your mom. Your mom's going to say almost everything you come up with. It's a good idea.
It's perfect. Yes.
I look at it a bit like an ice sculpture. You're constantly just kind of knocking away at an idea. And as soon as anything's real, that's when people really start knocking you for it, because something exists at that point. And, I've done this many times. And it's all a long, long process, but you've just got to keep chipping away.
Yeah.
We don't have to be afraid to start small. That's a really good thing. Like, people can see like a huge business, see Glorify, see like people like getting the really like great spaces, great positions, and they want you like to start to really big.
Yeah,
they want you to start like as the great entrepreneurship, but they didn't do like nothing before, the basic.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to start small, to try small, to see if like it is good, it is profitable, it is like it's achieving the goal that we had when you created. And when you try when it's small, we are now free to grow the company, grow the project, grow the ideas.
One of the best examples of this is that I remember Paulo's story that he started Método CIS with like 12 people, 4 days in a room, and like with just 12 people, and today he has more than like 15,000 people each Método CIS. So like
all over the world.
You can see how it's crazy. And since the beginning, the idea was great, the purpose was great, the training was great, he was great, but he had to go through the process. And we see our generation, a generation that's like fast food. It needs everything fast. Everything needs to like get to a goal where like I need to profit. I need to have 1 million reais. I need to do everything. And people sometimes forget about the process that you live.
That's so true.
And this is so awesome how we can see in your life, since 8 years old you started selling like things on school, and then to 13 you go to things on social media. And when you get to like the adult phase, you create companies that really change the world.
And something that I love about Ed's history is that you have to tell them about it. He was knocking every door and go to people's houses and to say, my name is Edward, I create a company and I would like to know if you want to hear about it, you want to invest about it. He wasn't afraid to fail. He wasn't afraid to share his ideas. He wasn't afraid of what people was gonna think about him. And I think like a mentality that is make our generation stopped and don't have like they're not brave enough to start to do companies and to start to create new things because they have so much fear of failure.
So yeah, that will kill you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so scary putting yourself out there. It's like with a girl that you like.
Yeah.
It's impossible, you know. Me and Luma, it was so scary, and I almost had to turn off a part of my brain of fear so that I could keep trying. And I did the same with building my businesses. I look back, and I hate to say this, but if you can't look back every 3 months and think, wow, I was so stupid, I can't believe I was like, that was me,
That brave.
then you're not growing fast
Yeah.
enough. As in, I look back 5 years ago, 6 years, I look back 3 months ago and I think, wow, I knew nothing back then because I'm learning and growing
That's so great.
quickly.
That's so
But when
great.
it comes to knocking on people's door and going for things, you just have to try. And you've got to remember that, like, people don't care nearly as much as you think they do, right?
Yes.
In fact,
No one cares.
I try my best to live my life on this risk-reward ratio, where I look at what I'm risking versus what I could gain.
Yes.
And the truth is, today, especially in social media, if you want to be successful, you've got to be prepared to be cringy. Like really, really cringy.
Yes.
And that, I find that very difficult today.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I hate putting myself out there, especially online. I rarely do interviews like this, you know, because I just don't like putting myself out there.
Yeah.
But the truth is, if you want to build a business and get anywhere in life, you've got to stand up naked sometimes.
But
Yes.
so I think that something that we can go in now in this subject is that Ed, he knows one of the most incredible people on this earth. I could say that if I wanted to see someone that knows about networking, would be you.
Definitely,
For sure.
Definitely.
Because with your age, like with our age, being young, it's not that easy to go in places or sit in tables as it is with your story told. For example, if we see Paulo today, it's easy for him to be in big tables because he created a story that everyone is proud of. But at the beginning, as young people, sometimes it's difficult for us to go in a table and say like, I have something to put on the table, something that you guys will like.
Credibility,
Credibility. E algo incrível é que vocês não têm noção. As pessoas que o Ed tem conexão e se conhecem. A primeira vez que eu conheci o Ed, a gente estava na pandemia do México, e ele falou que ele estava indo para os Estados Unidos porque ele simplesmente tem um jantar com uma das maiores influenciadoras do mundo e um dos maiores cantores do mundo. Que eu não sei se eu posso falar quem são. Mas se ele quiser, ele pode falar para vocês. Mas desde ali eu falei, cara, ele tá mentindo. Não é possível que ele se conecta com as pessoas. E eu lembro que ele me mostrava o WhatsApp dele, ele conversando com essas pessoas. So, Ed, tell us a little bit.
Like few names that you can mention.
Of course.
That you know.
The very first thing I would say to that is that when I was really young, I made my age a superpower. So I made my age the
This is
way
super good.
I
That's
got onto the
super
table.
good. That's
You
super
know?
good. It's easy to be better than your age people when you do small things.
Because no one
Yeah.
When
expects
you're
that you have
18,
this.
no one expecting
Exactly.
an 18 guy creates a company.
And you do different
That's your
things.
superpower,
And so
yes.
I would, every night at school, I would, instead of doing my homework, I would take 45 minutes, maybe even more, every single day, and I would send cold emails to the biggest people in the world I could think of.
That's
The biggest
crazy.
CEOs, the biggest celebrities, and you'd be so surprised at who responds when you write an email that says, hey, hey Paul, my name's Ed, I'm 16 years old, and I care so much about this space, and I admire you so much because of this, this, and this. I'm wondering, would you have 10 minutes for me just to do a quick call? I know you probably don't have time, so no problem if you can't answer, but it would mean the world. Best, from Ed. And it was phenomenal. I would have the biggest CEOs all across Europe, the US, and I'd get probably a 25% conversion rate into a call.
That's in the cold email.
Yeah, because they were just so
Today would be
impressed.
maybe
And
the code
you're-
direct in Instagram
Yeah,
that you will send.
Maybe. Maybe.